Hey folks, this is Bodie from Maui Community Investigation with part 2 of our fire paths and selective destruction, where we are covering Zone 2 from the north to the south, from Pu'amana to Lahaina Road, the east to west, from the Bypass Road and Hono'apili Highway down to Front Street, so we can show you what burned and what did not. Now this video incorporates satellite shots, street view pictures, and video traveling Front Street looking at some of the devastation. And it's just a couple days after the fire. I hope you will share this video, leave us your comments below, and please visit our website and sign our petition. Mahalo for watching. Aloha. Please keep in mind the prevailing wind direction. Here is our last video of Zone 1, Lahaina Luna, and we're now on to Pu'amana, Zone 2. Hey folks, so here we are in the Pu'amana area, all the way to Lahaina Luna Road, Zone 2. We're going to back out though a ways. As you can see, this red boundary kind of exceeds the Pu'amana area. Okay, as we progress through these fields of burnt grass, I want you guys to take a look at this house. It's got a nice little orchard or some type of farm going on here. The house went unscathed despite all the fields around him burnt. And as we progress down to the beginning part of the Pu'amana townhomes, condominiums, we can see quite a few of them here in the beginning, unscathed. When we look at this one right in the middle, tucked away, it's kind of curious how this one would burn and none of the other ones around it. And then when we look across the street, if we're led to believe that the grass did this, well, I mean, there's nothing there. There's very little grass right there that would make me believe that embers would have flown across the street and lit this place up. It just looks a little too unusual. And then as we progress down here in the red district here, we can see on this far end of the Pu'amana townhomes that they all incinerated. And then this is the entrance. So if we turned in off the highway onto Front Street, this would be the entrance into Pu'amana. Using video clips shot the next day after the fire, we'll be traveling down Front Street from Pu'amana to the harbor to not only see some of the devastation, but some of the structures we are covering here in Zone 2.
Oh, Pu'amana is gone. All gone. Pu'amana, right here, gone. Everything is gone. They're gone.
As we progress down Front Street, I'm sure everybody has seen this red roof home as the only house standing. Well, it kind of is in a way in its own little district, but there's quite a few homes and places, the structures that didn't burn. And we progress down a little bit more and we can see these mansions here. Actually, one is a mansion, the other one is just a regular home. The grass here, see all the burn marks from the embers. We should be seeing burn marks from embers landing in the grass from all of these homes. Now we go down to the street view. And a little further down, there's a brand new home that was put in. There's an older style home tucked in between these two newer homes. So from the street view, we can see this is a 2-story custom. Next to that is a single-story older dwelling. And off to the right there is a super custom.
This one is still standing. This one is still standing.
Now if we look in the backyard of the single-story older home, we can see there's some type of dwelling or shed that had caught fire. In any of these backyards, we don't see any ember strikes at all. Moving on down to these two homes, where we're next to the Lahaina Shores Beach Resort that did not burn. From the street view, we can see this is an older style dwelling with a rock wall, while the house next to it, when Google passed by with their cameras, this home was under construction still. Here is a street shot of the Lahaina Shores Beach Resort. And then next to it is the 505, bunch of shops, and then is home to one of Maui's more famous luau's. This red outline next to Lahaina Shores is where the 505 was, and now it's completely gone. Now we go down to the street view.
Lahaina Shore still good. 505 Lahaina Shore still standing. Let's go. This used to be the 505 luau right here.
A little more up Front Street from the hotel, we can see this green roof here. It's part of the King Kamehameha III Elementary. It looks like this building went unscathed. Here's a street view shot. And then this building over here at the harbor is what appears to be a restroom. So I thought we'd take a look at the harbor here and see what type of damage happened, since everything burned there as well. In the beginning here, where these boats are tied up, there used to be along the jetty here a deck that went around all the way to the end. And as we progress through here, you're going to see quite a few skeletons of older boats that had burnt and sunk. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with what Lahaina Harbor looks like, here is a shot from overhead looking at the jetty. We can see how the boats were positioned and tied off, and we can also see the deck running all the way around.
So we turn to just like see how the harbor look like. This is how the harbor look like, but we cannot go through, so we're gonna turn around over here. Wow, all the boats. Wow. Oh shit. So this is all the boats. This is what left on the Front Street Harbor. Right here. All gone.
Then we move out and we travel over to these two dwellings. One is the Seventh-day Adventist Church that you see here from the street view, and the other is a small carport. And then we travel over to Dickinson Street here, where the Hawaiian Telecom building stands. And next to the Hawaiian Telecom building, we have the parking lot where Paul and Bruce did their video on the trees that burned from the inside out. From here, we make a right-angled turn and head up Lahaina Luna Road until we meet up with the Federal Credit Union here on the corner across from the old Shell gas station. By the way, that didn't burn and it's still standing. Showed you that in part 1. And then we travel over here to the corner lot where the Maria Lanikila Catholic Church stands still today. Most of it, that is. Here is a street view shot from Dickinson on the corner of the church. And over here on this corner, we have 5 structures that went unscathed. Across the street, we have a custom home with a long driveway. And over here on the corner, once stood the Hongwanji Mission, with a beautiful building out front that both the mission and the building incinerated. On the same block is the historic Wai'ola Church. Because of its importance, I thought I'd take this time out to cover a little bit on some historical places, mainly about the Wai'ola Church and Cemetery. The cemetery is the final resting place for early members of the royal family of the Kingdom of Hawaii, originally called Waine'e Church until 1953. And the Wai'ola Church has seen and been through some terrible events over its course in history. Waine'e, meaning moving water, was built adjacent to a pond surrounding an island called Moku'ula, which was sacred to traditional Hawaiian religion and the residence of the king. The church has seen multiple tragedies, and starting with the first one in 1826, it was blown down by wind and replaced by stone and wood. Then, in 1858, a whirlwind ravaged the roof and church steeple, but it was repaired without too much trouble. The church stood safely for another 36 years until it was destroyed by fire in 1894, when a new church was built, and it was a gift from Henry P. Baldwin. And that lasted another 50 years until it was partially destroyed by fire again. The church in 1954 changed its name from Waine'e Church to Waiola Church, Water of Life. Reportedly, the church is immortalized in James Michener's Hawaii as Reverend Abner Hale's Church in Lahaina. So despite the 2023 fire that completely destroyed the building, there have been other fires in the past, as this church has been through quite a bit. Will there be another Waiola Church? I believe there will, but only time will tell. We can see the structures here were not harmed, as well as the Lahaina Aquatic Center across the road. This house here was a lone survivor, despite the total destruction around it. And this string of homes that somehow made it, looking close at this home, we can see the entire yard nearly burned. Then there are these 5 homes, and then this one by itself, and then these 3 on the other side. Then finally, saving the most interesting for last, we head over to the rec center's several baseball fields for a closer look. While next to the baseball fields is the transitional housing Nahale o Waine'e. Note how far this development sits from the highway. And when we examine the colors of the topography, we can see how the majority of land is red in color. Now this is what I wanted to show you folks. This baseball field is darkened by burn marks. Now I asked Paul and Bruce to confirm the burned field, and they took soil samples. Look close. Anyone can easily see how these are strikes. It's when they hit, they fan outward in one direction. When analyzing the baseball field, based on the strikes in the grass and the direction of the burn marks, this suggests that the wind was coming out of the east. There are a few factors to consider that refute the report map showing the fire travel direction through Puamana. Now logically, I would have to agree that the map created by Underwriters Laboratory showing the fire spread outward as it reached the bottom of Lahaina in Zone 1, and then spread into Puamana, then traveled back uphill into the prevailing wind and up to the homeless housing tract was incorrect. The row of homes that burned just above the park, if the fire had traveled back uphill as they suggest, the open grass fields would display ember strikes, and the grass would have burned in places you could easily see, and this is not the case. It would be impossible for embers to travel from these burned homes and specifically land on the homeless transitional housing tract. And finally, I want to leave you guys with this Eric West find some time ago. You guys might recall this SUV that was parked up on the bluff overlooking Puamana and completely incinerated. Nothing around it, nothing to fuel it, everything melted. Thanks, Eric West. And this has been the second part of our video series where in Puamana, where we feature homes and buildings that did burn and did not burn. So be sure to catch the third part where we go into Wahikuli, Zone 3. There are some very interesting finds over there that will definitely raise suspicion. So please share this video with people you know, and let's get the word out there that there are still people who care about the people of Lahaina and would like to see justice prevail. Mahalo for watching. Aloha.